Good evening. Welcome to the Whaler Guys. 20-28 Sargent Street. It's the Whaler Guy tonight. Pete is out researching how to catch the big whale. No, he's not. He's going to get some bread and milk because we have our fourth nor'easter in, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? It's amazing. Hopefully watching Facebook Live, we have something else on Facebook Live airing right now, but I think Hartford Public Access will fix that. Tonight, I am solo. Like I said, Pete is out on assignment. We are looking at NHL news and notes. UConn is now out of the playoffs, and we will go with the Wolfpack. We will touch a little bit on college hockey tonight, which is, looks like Boston University, Hockey East champions. And now we have games in Connecticut this weekend on the 24th and 25th. The East Regionals. So when you look at hockey in Connecticut, we still have college hockey if you're willing to go down to Bridgeport, spend some money. I was looking at tickets online. They range anywhere from about $35 to $47 a seat. It's all, obviously a smaller building than Hartford, so you get a good seat anywhere you sit. I had the opportunity, my wife and I, to go down and see Bridgeport play. It was a good game, a lot of fighting. And it's a great place to see a game if you travel down 91 to 95 to Bridgeport at Harbor Yard. So the Bruins, I'm going to start with the Bruins, as Peter would just give me the sneer if he was here. Lost 5-4 the other night to Columbus, and that was Columbus being an amazing team right now. They just have found all kinds of ways to win. They win in overtime. Cam Atkinson scores the overtime winner. And the Blue Jackets got goals from 5 different players and extend their winning streak to 8 games. The next night, last night, they played the Rangers and beat the Rangers 5-3. And Panarin, who came from the Blackhawks last year, had a hat trick as part of a 4-point night, lifting the Blue Jackets by the Rangers 5-3. And that was for their 9th consecutive win. Tortorella, he's a very colorful coach. I personally like John Tortorella. I think he's my kind of coach. Tell it like it is. His public relations people must really have a hell of a time keeping him in check because he's quite colorful. But when you look at the teams that are hot right now in the NHL, you look at the Bruins. They've had a slide last couple of games. And then you look at Columbus, who obviously is on their 9-game winning streak. And then you talk about those Florida Panthers. Amazing. They're trying to make that push to make the playoffs. They're trying really well. They beat Ottawa 7-2 the other night. Panthers balanced their attack with 7 different skaters scoring, while James Reimer had a 33-save performance in that win. Just on a sidebar on Ottawa, the owner of Ottawa, Melnick, apparently the fans are really on his case about trying to get him out as owner of Ottawa. They've put billboards in strategic locations trying to oust him and putting I guess, either a petition to sign or a number to call to get him out as Ottawa's owner. Really interesting up there. I guess you really irritate people. They'll go public, as we see all in the public image these days. A little side note with Boston. Boston welcomed Harvard star Ryan Donato, who had a 3-point night in his first game with the Bruins. He looked incredibly comfortable. I caught some highlights of that game, and then when they interviewed him, he looked like a 12-year-old. I must say, though, it's great to see someone stepping out, such as Tage Thompson with St. Louis, getting into the mix and contributing. Tage off to a slower start because of his minimal play, 31 shifts he's been out there, 31 games. 15 shifts the last game when we talked about it on our last show. And he's had some different opportunities. The other night against the Bruins, I watched, and he had several opportunities, had some great passes, contributed when he was out there on the ice. He looks very comfortable. So, we'll have to see how Tage Thompson does. When we had our show last week, we didn't know that Maxine Latunov from UConn had signed on with the San Jose Sharks, so he will be missing next week or next year from the UConn lineup. And Spencer Nass had signed with the Carolina Stingrays, South Carolina Stingrays of the ECHL. So those are two players that will not be returning to UConn, and we got that information after our show last week, so I just wanted to add that to the Tage Thompson story because, you know, now it's going to be interesting to see who UConn brings in with that. The other big note in the NHL is Washington winning 4-3 last night, and Alex Ovechkin notched 2 assists, scored his 602nd career goal, and moved past Yari Curry for 19th all-time for the goals list in the Capitals' victory. So, you know, Ovechkin still a guy who gets out there every single night, plays hard, just like we always comment about Kevin Dineen and how he was always out there and played 100%. This is another thing with Ovechkin, who is just an outstanding leader, and they just have to get that Stanley Cup one year. They lead their division with 91 points, which is the closest division in NHL right now, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. Pittsburgh loses to the Islanders between Barzal and Tavares. Each had 2 points as the Islanders posted a 4-1 win against the Penguins in the Barclays Center. Remember, talking about the Barclays Center, this weekend the Hartford Whalers Booster Club will be going down to the Barclays Center to see the Islanders versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Posted tonight on their Facebook page, they have 2 open seats left. So if you want to go down and see the Blackhawks versus the Islanders, get on the Hartford Whalers Booster Club page and let them know if you're interested in 2 tickets that have come up last minute. Peter and I have taken a trip with the Booster Club. It's a great time. We usually are able to go to a game in which there are former Whalers, whether it was the Carolina Hurricanes. We got to see Chuck Caton. Dallas Stars with Darryl Ray we had a few minutes with, or with the Chicago Blackhawks when they played the Islanders when we went down to Uniondale when they were at the Nassau Coliseum, and we were able to see Joel Quenneville and Kevin Dineen. So the Whalers Booster Club do a great job putting the bus trip together. It's a great continuation of former Hartford Whaler Booster Club member Marty, I'm going to kill his name, Yevstenach. He was a great guy, a lifelong member of the Hartford Whalers Booster Club, but was passed away a couple of years ago. So it's great that the Booster Club continues to have their trips down to whether it's Long Island or we went to New Jersey and saw the Devils play Carolina. So back to the scores, Nashville and Buffalo. Nashville wins 4-0. Pekka Rinne recorded his 40th win of the season with a 35-game performance, and Philip Forsberg notched a goal and assist with the win against the Sabres. Nashville currently in first place with the most points in the league, 106 points. I thought Tampa Bay was the most with 104, but it is Nashville with 106 points. NHL leaders, Kucherov with Tampa Bay, 93 points. McDavid from Edmonton, 89 points. McKinnon from Colorado, 89 points. And Malkin with 89 points, which Malkin, I believe he has the most points because all he does is shoot. He doesn't pass ever. It's all about Malkin. Not one of my favorites. Power ranking for teams, number 1 is Nashville, number 2 is Boston, number 3 is Tampa Bay, number 4 Winnipeg, and number 5 Toronto. Toronto tried to make a move to try to catch the Bruins, but they're starting to fall behind. Boston only trails Tampa Bay now by 5 points with I think 9 games left. And I don't think they're going to beat Tampa Bay for that top spot. Tampa Bay is just a very strong club. When you have Stamkos healthy, Kucherov is just lighting the lamp every night. Right now in the Atlantic Division, you have Tampa Bay, 104 points, Boston with 99 points, and Toronto with 93 points. Games tonight in the NHL, you have the Coyotes against the Sabres. And you have Boston against St. Louis. You have the Montreal Canadiens against the Penguins, which unfortunately I think the Penguins will win that one. The Ducks and the Flames at 9:30. News out of Montreal says Carey Price is ready to return to action. A lot of Montreal fans, because of their tough year this year, are saying let the guy sit out the rest of the year and get healthy for next season. It's going back and forth. You see on social media some of the comments. He's ready to come back. Maybe they'll get him some games just to get him ready for next year. But he's had a rough year with injuries, concussions, some lower body injuries. So we'll have to see what happens with Montreal. I mean, I'm not disappointed that Montreal's doing badly. The Metropolitan Division is very, very close. You have 4 teams fighting for playoff spots or close to being in the playoff. You have 91 points for Washington, which is the lowest of any first-place team. Pittsburgh with 87. Columbus with 87, and that has to do with their 9 straight consecutive wins. Philadelphia with 86 points. And you have 4 teams right there battling, and they're only really 5 points out of first place, which is Philadelphia. In the Central Division, you have Nashville, like I said, 106 points. Winnipeg with 98. Minnesota with 90. Pacific Division, this is for Peter. Las Vegas is in first place with 99 points, and Peter never thought that was going to happen. Then San Jose with 91. Los Angeles had a win last night and brought them to 87 points. Sad news in the NHL, and Ottawa released a statement regarding team captain Erik Karlsson and his wife lost their son, and the whole community want to pass on their condolences for the loss of their son and wish them a little peace and quiet, and they said to keep everything private during their grieving process. Really sad news on Ottawa. Our thoughts are with that family. I could never imagine losing a child, a young child like that. Tampa Bay, Steven Stamkos was fined $5,000, the maximum allowable under the collective bargaining agreement, for a dangerous trip against Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman Morgan Rielly during their NHL game in Tampa on Tuesday. And that was sent out by the Department of Player Safety. I did not see it. The incident occurred at 10 minutes and 25 seconds of the second period, assessed a minor penalty for elbowing. I don't know where elbowing came in because it was a trip. Again, they have a tough job to do. But on a good note, the money goes to the Players' Emergency Assistance Fund. Goals in the NHL, leading the league with 44 is Alexander Ovechkin. Assists, Blake Wheeler. I always didn't like that when the Bruins got rid of Wheeler to the Winnipeg Jets. He has 62 assists. Points overall is Kucherov from Tampa Bay with 94. And then you get into penalty minutes. That's what I like. 203 penalty minutes for Michael Haley from the Florida Panthers. And I must say, when you talk about a physical team, I was watching the Bruins' miserable performance against the Florida Panthers the other night, and they lost 3-0. And the biggest thing that stood out was how physical the Florida Panthers are, and they are. They're having a real push this second half. Their record since the All-Star break was on that night 15-4-1. So they've had an incredible second half of the season, and I would like to see Florida get in just to see all their hard work pay off. I'm not a big fan of Florida, but I think through their hard work, they deserve at least a wild card spot to get in there. Plus-minus rating is William Karlsson from Las Vegas with a plus 40. And that goes to show you how strong Vegas is this year with their plus-minus, as Peter alluded to it last week on the show. With the Bruins' plus-minus rating, especially with their defensemen. And then you get into even strength goals. Karlsson, Kucherov, and Ovechkin with 30. Game-winning goals, you have Nathan MacKinnon from Colorado with 11, tied with Sean Monahan from Calgary. Shorthanded goals, Alexander Barkov from Florida has 5 shorthanded goals this season. So enough of that. So the big test, goaltender interference. It has been an interesting year with the NHL calling goaltender interference. If it wasn't, there was teams that greatly impacted some overtime losses that wished it was reviewed up in the booth. And goaltender interference, as it was stated today by the NHL, will be decided by officials in the NHL Situation Room in Toronto if a recommended change by the league's general managers is approved on Wednesday. So that was today. I did not see what the final vote was on that. The rule change would shift final determination on goalie interference away from on-ice officials to the NHL Hockey Operations Department, which would include a member of the NHL officiating management team comprised of former referees. So I think when you get into goaltender interference, especially obviously most of them are goals, I think it has to be reviewed, and I think it's a good idea to have it reviewed in a situation room and take it away from the on-ice officials. I think it's one of those that has to be talked about a bit more than just seeing it with the naked eye. And again, the referees have a very difficult job because of how fast hockey has become. We've seen how fast hockey has become from when they eliminated that blue line with the two-line, or the red line with the two-line pass, and it seems like they just hit the gas pedal, and the need for having two referees and two linesmen is definitely a good idea, and I'm glad they're bringing this up to the booth. Let us know. Go to our Facebook page at the Whalers Brigade and let us know what you think of that particular topic today. I will find out tomorrow or later on tonight what that vote was. We'll put it out on our Facebook page. Again, if you have any questions for Peter and I, you can email us at phindle19@gmail.com or jewhaler13@gmail.com. Let us know. Let us know if you have any ideas, any show ideas you want us to do. If you want us to go irritate anyone out in the public, we can do that. We usually don't do it on camera, but we could probably get someone to be irritated on camera. So when you get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the race for the most goals in the NHL, like I said before, Ovechkin with 44, Patrick Lane with 43, Malkin with 40, William Karlsson from the Vegas Knights with 39, Eric Stahl from Minnesota with 39, Tyler Seguin, former Bruin, with 39. And, they have between 8 and 10 games remaining in the final 9 games of the season. We'll see how they come out and who comes out ahead. I think it's going to be probably Ovechkin. That's my opinion. So, over to college hockey now. UConn's out. We talked about that last week. It was really tough to watch 2 games. We talked about the goaltenders, how Peter and I thought Creel should have started over Huska. We're not the coach, but that was our opinion. Creel had a great end of the season. I thought he came in when Huska got hurt, and he really, really didn't play bad hockey through all those 7-game winning streak specifically. Number 4 Boston University ended up the season 21-13-4 and earned its 9th Hockey East tournament title on Saturday, topping number 3 Providence. That was 23-11-4, 2-0 at the TD Garden. It's, UConn last year had a tough time with Providence. This year, they did a little better with Providence. And the MVP, believe it or not, was the goalie for Boston University, Jake Oettinger. I'm killing his name, I apologize. Out of Lakeville, Michigan. He made 30 saves to pick up his first shutout in the Hockey East title game. And he is the first goalie since 2014 to be named MVP. So, when you look at this Hockey East is now done, Boston University, congratulations. And now we have the East Regionals. Like I said, I believe it's Notre Dame and Providence. No, I forgot who it was. I'm sorry. But they are going to be at Bridgeport. Like I said, $35 to $47 a ticket. That's this weekend, Friday night and Saturday night. So if you have a chance, go down and see that. I think it's wonderful that we have the East Regionals here in Connecticut. The Wolfpack, I must say, they're on a 3-game winning streak, and I went to the game on Sunday, the 5 o'clock game, and they played the Rochester Americans. And quickly, on 6 shots, the Rochester Americans were up 2-0. Mazurek was in goal, and I don't know what was going on with him, but after that, the second period was a turn of events. The second and third period owned by the Wolfpack. They played a better game. I think they were in front of about 3,500 people on Sunday, which was a good crowd. They were into it. It was let the kids be in charge of the game, and I thought it was really cool. They had a young person behind the PA announcer. They had people helping out with the promotions. Rachel Lutzker from 105.9 was there, and she was the in-arena personality doing the all the promotional stuff. It was really a good day, and the Wolfpack ended up winning 6-4. Kotek with the amazing goal, dump in from center ice, his first goal of the season, and it went in, and and Johansson, the goalie for Rochester, just couldn't believe he let it in. It went right between his legs, and I must say it was amazing. So I will end that note with the Wolfpack will be coming up with a game on Saturday, a superhero game, so wear your cape and be a superhero. Go out and see the Wolfpack, and they will be playing the Hershey Bears on a 3 p.m. Yep, 3 p.m. on Sunday, I'm sorry. 3 p.m. on Saturday, I'm sorry, Superhero Day, and then two clubs head down to Hershey for a 5 p.m. matchup at the Giants Center on Sunday. So going through the Whalers Brigade page today, Peter had posted a video of the St. Patrick's Day Parade with the Hartford Whalers Booster Club. And again, thank you for allowing us to march with you, the Hartford Whalers Booster Club. We had a great time. It was great to have about 30 people in the contingent. That video has been viewed to about 10,000 views. So when you don't think people pay attention to the brigade, the followers of the Whalers, you're crazy. People like it. I was down in New York City for the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Saturday, and some guy came up to us. Peter had his Whalers jersey on, and he said he watches our show weekly to get what's going on here in Hartford from the Whaler guys and the Whalers Brigade. So it's nice to have those people come up to us and go Whalers. We had New York Ranger fans go by us, and they started singing the Brass Bonanza. So it's really great to have those people come up and say hi, and we had nice conversations with people in New York City. And of course, we had our beverages to celebrate the Irish. And yes, we made it home safely, and none of us got in trouble by our significant others. So we're going to play that video one more time. And by the way, the letter that we posted on our Facebook page from Governor Malloy has now eclipsed 17,000 views. So again, you just keep on beating that drum, because we are the Whaler guys, you guys are the brigade, we are one nation under green, and Peter and I are not giving up. We are your voice. So let us know what you need us to do to get out there and make some noise, embarrass the hell out of people, because that's what we do. We're here to work for you. You guys have a good night. We're going to play that video one more time. Have a good night.
We got the Whalers, Hartford Whalers boosters.
I think the gentleman in the green suit was just anxious to move along.
Just moving on. Okay, yeah, no, we're still with the Hartford Whalers Booster Club. As you saw on their sign right there, rest in peace, Gordie Howe, of course, yes. And it used to be a tradition for me when I was riding in this parade. We were talking about this before. I have an old Ron Francis jersey. You put that sweater on right up there, and boy, when people see it, their eyes light up. It's not just green, it's Hartford. It's everything you would want to wear on a day like today. We got Brass Bonanza playing too. Let's listen in.
The Whaler Guys, Peter Hindle and Jerry Erwin. It's happening, the Brass Bonanza.
Yeah.
Fire it up, right?
Yeah, great. Go down to DMV and get your Whaler plates. We're pushing it. Hartford Whaler license plates. Get them. They're hot. You can see everyone's here.
I recognize you from Fox 61 Celebrity Sports Night.
It was a wonderful opportunity to break out the brass and bring in the green, right?
Break out the brass, bring in the green. It's all about the brass and the green. Pucky is here.
Yeah, Pucky is here. Let's bring him back. Bring back the Whalers.
There you go. Get your Whalers.
Yeah.
Get your Whalers license
Okay,
plates.
thank you.
Tim and Erica, back to you.
God, it's good to see. No, wait a second. We got the Whalers, Hartford Whalers boosters.
I think the gentleman in the green suit was just anxious to
He
move
was
along.
just moving on. Okay, yeah, no, we're still with the Hartford Whalers Booster Club.